Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Can with Mining Journal, and with me I have Alex Walker, CEO of Kazakh-focused copper explorer Star Resources. Star was also part of the latest intake for the BHP Xplor program, the Majors Exploration Accelerator, and that's what Alex is going to talk to us about today. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks very much for having me, Chris.
In your own words, can you just describe what the Xplor program is?
Um, it's an interesting question. Explore program has been in development for a couple of years, and for us, it was a game-changing introduction to how the majors approach exploration and due diligence and operations and so on. So it's been sort of referred to as a masterclass in exploration. I think that's a really, really good an apt description.
And how did you hear about it? What was the process in terms of your awareness?
They've been pretty good at promoting. So for us, it was conferences. Libby Sharman was sort of running around the globe, going to conferences and talking about Explore, and so through the various networks and things like that, it became pretty obvious that it was something very, very interesting for us to apply for.
Okay, and at the core of this, Alex, is it's 500,000 equity-free financing. There's also corporate support and technical support there as part of a major organization. What drew you in? Like, what was the real appeal for being part of this process?
It's a really good question, Chris, because it was interesting. Through the application process, there was quite a lot of due diligence, and I even got to the point I was laughing with the team, saying, "Look, even if we don't pass, can you put me on the program anyway?" Because it's not just about the $500,000. It was about the structure of the program, which I was just absolutely excited about and enthralled with. So, for us. The money allowed us to conduct an exploration approach for something that we otherwise might not have done. Porphyry exploration can be very difficult for junior mining companies, and it's that initial work that you don't tend to get a lot of credit for. It's very hard to raise capital for. So going into the mineral systems approach, really looking at belt scale breakdowns of targeting, is long work. It's arduous, and you don't get a lot of credit for it because most of the time you're just limiting your search area rather than getting those amazing drill hits. So it's work that needs to be done that we were really excited to do. But I think we got a lot more than $500,000 worth of value out of the program with the education that came with it, from business chemistry to leadership coaching with some of the best in the business, mentorships and everything that came with all of the masterclasses. So for us, it was really the whole package, not just the money.
Okay, I think a lot of junior companies would struggle with a lot of the administrative requirements of being listed, of applying for permits, of just being an explorer with a lot of the regulatory processes.
Yeah.
They're not really interested in going through a cumbersome application process to be part of the program. How did you find that experience? Were you able to apply relatively easily? What was involved in actually getting your paperwork in, being considered, getting that due diligence done, and then getting yourself started as a Explore cohort?
Oh, I'm not going to lie, Chris. It was a big process. I'd like to say that we've been due diligence thoroughly is probably an understatement, because it's not just the amount of due diligence they do to get into the program; it's the continued due diligence throughout the program. I think that improves our company from an investability perspective, because of the work that they've done. Certainly validates us as an entity and us as a team. But it was a lot of work, particularly when you've got new country entry, which for Kazakhstan was for BHP. So the initial application process is very technical. You submit your application, your investment, your thesis, your exploration thesis, your search space, and what you're hoping to do and how you're hoping to achieve those results. Your approximate budget, your team, and the like. And then through that, they, vet which applications are serious, which ones they want to review in a lot more detail. And then it goes through a series of interviews. So you get initially invited to a phone interview, and after the phone interview, you get invited to an in-person interview, which for us was in in Toronto. So in essence, it was three stages of application. The final one being in person, and then after that, they let you know about whether or not you're being invited into the program. For us, it was a very last minute sort of thing. We were still going through the final due diligence and vetting as we were booking flights for Toronto. So it was signing on the dotted line, the day we got on the plane, in essence. So it was a bit nail biting, but we were really, at the end of the program, we're really happy to have done it all, of course.
From my perspective, it sounds a little bit like it's a bolt-on support and technical service, where the due diligence is often a part that is, and I think investors would probably be critical of the junior industry, that part of the process is often missed. Is that how practically it's worked? You've been inducted into the program. You're practically now doing work on the portfolio in Kazakhstan. Is it the Xplor team is part of the eStar team, or do you report to Xplor? How does that actually work when it comes to practically doing the work with their support?
Yeah, it's I wouldn't even call it reporting to. I would call it consultation. So they don't try and dictate how you spend every dollar. They obviously want to see your general work program. Each month you submit a report on how much money you've spent on what, how the budget's been adjusted. But they don't try and push you in a direction or say that you have to spend it in a particular way. They want to see that you can execute the programs which you said you would do at the start of the program. They want to see you adopt the mineral systems approach and how you're assessing your search space, and applying those methods to your exploration. So it's a progressive sort of spend, it's a progressive reporting, and it's a progressive education throughout the program. And at the end of it, what you hope to do is be presenting quite a fulsome picture of what you set out to achieve in the first place. So again, just the mineral systems approach to why you think there's a huge opportunity there, and addressing each of those levels. So it's very consultative. You get access to the Xplor team, but then you also get access to a lot of the other parts of the team. For us, it was porphyry specialists, and for other, it was set-hosted copper and so on. So you'll have a masterclass in porphyry, you'll have a masterclass in set-hosted copper, but then you can also speak to their team, head of generative, head of porphyry, head of copper, and to and fro on the work that you're doing. So, it's a fantastic opportunity to I guess, speak to industry experts about your approach, get feedback, and then take that feedback and adjust in real time.
Can you tell us a little bit about what eStar is doing in Kazakhstan? My understanding is you've got a variety of different styles of all copper-focused exploration targets of varying maturities, and how being part of the Xplor program has actually shaped what you're doing on the ground.
Sure. Before Xplor, we were a small company. We had what I call achievable goals. We were after prospects in infrastructure-rich regions. So we were primarily volcanogenic massive sulfide deposit focused. We have a JORC resource on one of our deposit areas, and it's the sort of thing that a small company can explore, put into production, not massive capex. Since Xplor, our ideas have grown. So we've got bigger targets, a bigger team. We hope that's going to be a bigger and better outcome for all stakeholders. So for us, it's been we've been able to develop a framework that allows us to go for tier one. So now we have a 3-pronged strategy. We've got VMS, which is infrastructure led, and potentially very, very low capex opportunity. And then we've got porphyry exploration in the Balkashili magmatic arc. And we've also been working on a sediment-hosted copper exploration strategy, which we've nearly finished the targeting work for.
Alex, that's all we've got time for, but thanks so much for joining us.
Go on, Chris. Thanks.